Good afternoon. Let's see, it is a couple minutes. It's 4 o'clock on the dot. Welcome to Fun Friday with Jen. I'm just getting things set up here so I can see comments and be able to chit chat with you guys while I'm creating and sharing with you some of the things that I'm making today with our Spotlight of Nature. So let's see if I can get this up and running. Let's see. And let's see if it's coming up. Oh, there I am. All right. Oh, hello, Tammy. Hello, Patty. You can barely hear me. I was whispering a little bit to myself. I think I started talking to myself. Can you hear me better now? Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to mute my computer. Can you hear me better now? Oh, that bright light. Let's see, we'll move this. Hi, Joan. Welcome from Washington. Oh, good, it's better now. We're going to be doing Spotlight on Nature, so welcome to Fun Friday Live. And my name is Jennie Fetz, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in East Contra, Costa County, which is about an hour and 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depending on traffic, from Oakland. And right now we are experiencing the heat wave of the century, it seems like. We are on day, I think, 4 of 100-degree plus weather, and here in Brentwood we're expected to have 100-degree weather for the next 3 days, and then we'll be lucky it'll go down to, say 95, 96. So I hope you guys are staying cool. I'm doing my best to stay cool. Thank goodness we have an air conditioner. I don't think I would have survived without it. So yeah, it does feel like day 4,000, Patty. Oh, you have a friend that lives in Napa? Oh, that's cool, Joan. We drive through Napa every time we go up to my my in-laws' house. It used to be a cabin that my husband grew up going to for summers and things like that, and then my in-laws retired and relocated there and made that their mainstay. They're just outside of Clear Lake, so we always drive through Napa whenever we go through there. It's beautiful country. So let me go ahead and show you the cards we're going to make. I've got 2 cards here. We're going to make this card. And then this next card is actually, I like this one, but I have to admit, this one is my favorite because it's colors I would never, ever, ever thought to put together. So we'll go ahead and, oh, thank you, Patty. I'm glad you think they're pretty. So let's go ahead and we're going to get started with this one, the first one that I showed you. It's along the lines, I'm going to say it would be monochromatic, except for I have some lemon lime twist in there. So we're going to go ahead and work on this one. And let's see, we have here, I'll put this off to the side. We have, this one's very simple in terms of supplies needed. We have an 8.5 by 5.5. Hi, Shannon, I'm glad you're able to join. Oh, thank you, Tammy. Yes, you and me, we love our blues, don't we? So we have 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. We're going to go ahead and fold this over, excuse my reach, and burnish it. We'll set that off to the side. And let's go ahead and do, this is, by the way, the color is Blueberry Bushel. And we're going to go ahead and do the inside first, and we're going to use Blueberry Bushel ink as well as the leaf from the stamp set. We're going to use this leaf here, and I apologize for the glare. Oh, it looks like it's not too bad. So we're just going to do a quick little tap tap. We're going to get a little ink on that stamp, and then we're going to stamp it right on the side. We're going to zhuzh up the inside of my card, like I like to say, and then we'll go ahead and put that inside the card. So let's go ahead and put this in here, and for some reason I'm grabbing my Stampin' Steel. I don't always grab it. I just sort of, I don't know. I tend to go with whatever I grab first when I'm doing my You Love Spotlight on Nature. You know what? I do too. It's so pretty. So, and I'm partial to tulips, so that would be a reason why that could be one of the reasons why I love it. So now we're going to go ahead and set this aside. And we're going to go ahead and stamp on this. I got to clean off because I'm not using Blueberry Bushel. We're going to be using 3 blues today. So it's almost monochromatic. We're going to be using Blueberry Bushel. We're going to be using Azure Afternoon, and we're going to be using Balmy Blue. So we'll go ahead and put Blueberry Bushel off to the side and find my stamp cleaner and clean that stamp off, because we're going to actually use this leaf stamp to create the decorative around our tulips. But first, so we know where to stamp, we're going to stamp our tulips first. Sometimes I get so carried away I forget the steps in which I want it to do my stamp. So we have our tulip stamp, and we're going to use Memento black ink. And the size of this stamp, I like to press on it. Oops, looks like I may have to, you know what? I think I'm going to stamp off on this. This looks like it could be too much ink. Let's try. Oh, no, maybe that was the right amount. We'll just go ahead and stamp it up a little bit more so the leaves, get it? I just re-inked my Memento, so it's a little juicy. And then I want this, and our, forgot to mention, our white for the interior and the exterior are both 4 by 5 1/4. And this one, I'm not going to go straight up and down. I'm going to turn it just a little bit to an angle, and we're going to stamp it right in the middle. And it looks like I might need to move up my sheet a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better. Oops, there we go. And we're going to go ahead and clean off the stamp, because if I don't, with it being juicy like that, I was going to end up with black ink all over my forearm, and I really don't want that. So we'll go ahead and set that off to the side. Where do I get the graph paper? The graph paper, well, this graph paper was something they had at the Onstage in Houston, but you can order the graph paper on, let's see, it's online. I can't remember what page it is. I know it's hidden in our catalog. Let's see, where's that storage? It is on page 95 of our catalog. If you look at our catalog, they have it right down here. It's number 12. You can see the grid paper right here. This is in a nice stack. It's 100 sheets of 11 by 17 grid paper, so you can find that in our catalog. All right, so we'll go ahead and do this. Now we know where to stamp for our leaves, so we're going to go ahead and do Azure Afternoon first. Actually, no, I think I'm going to do Balmy Blue first. So let's see. We'll tap this up a little bit, and I don't want to get that inked up. And we'll just sort of randomly put some. Oh, it's no longer available. I got it for free at a giveaway at one of the booths at the on stage. So we'll go ahead and do these randomly, and then we're going to clean that off and use Azure Afternoon to give us some color. And that's Blueberry Bushel, Azure Afternoon. Oh, my fancy paper was free because they're no longer making it. But I like the idea of the in color ones. Maybe when I run out of this, I'll use that. So we're gonna just do a little bit of. Oops, I closed up my ink pad. I didn't want to do that. Do a couple more blues, and let's see there. And one more. We're going to go a little bit farther in like that. There we go. So it frames it a little bit more. So we've got our Azure Afternoon and Balmy Blue. And let's go ahead. I need to clean this stamp off before I forget it because I'm using it on the next card that we're making as well. So we'll go ahead and clean that off. Otherwise, I don't want to use my Azure Afternoon and Balmy Blue on the next card. Won't match. So Anyway, so now what we're going to do is we're going to open up these colors again and our lemon lime twist, and I'm going to use our blender pens to, oh, go ahead, case away. We're going to have to use, I'm going to use our blender pens to color in our flowers. Let's go with our lemon lime twist for the thing. And now what I've done, and these blender pens last forever, and what I've done is I've actually, with the marker, I'm not sure if you can see it, but I've written the letter for like this, that's a little blurry, but I've marked a G on here for my greens, and this one has an R for reds, and then I have this one that says Y for yellows, and this one I have marked B for blues, because you can use them over and over again, and they last a very long time, but you don't want to mix the blues and the yellows together, or, well, then you get your greens, but I like to keep them at least in color families. So we're going to go ahead and we put a little ink on our lid by squishing it down a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and just use a little bit of lemon lime twist for the leaves. All right, we'll make this, we'll try and go as quickly as possible on this. So is well, Shannon, I bet you're standing pretty good, and Joan, I bet you guys are staying pretty cool because you guys aren't in the Bay Area, and I know Shannon, you're out by the coast, so it stays nice and cool by you, right? So, I was going to say something else, and now I can't remember what it was, but oh well. You know, if it's important, it will return. I always say that because I forget a lot. So, all right, let's go ahead and do a little bit more for the stems. And then my favorite part is actually getting the blues in the flowers. And then I'll show you how I zhuzh up the flowers a little bit. Hey, Nail, I'm glad you were able to join us. So we're almost done. There we go. Then almost done with those leaves. And then after you use that, go ahead and rub it on your paper, the tip on your paper, until it's clear. And then you're ready to go for the next time that you want to use your blender pens. So, excuse my reach. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to use Blueberry Bushel as the base. I'm going to go from dark to light in my coloring. It's something I learned from Patty when you're shading flowers and things like that. You usually go darker to lighter. So we're going to do a little bit of our Blueberry Bushel so it ties it into the card base. We're going to do it more towards the center. Oops, I just went outside the line a little bit. And just put a little bit of Blueberry Bushel there. And then put them in your cart. Oh yeah, put them in your cart, and then you won't forget on the blender pens. All right, so we're gonna do that blue. I'm gonna do a little bit of the darker blue just on these lines. That's the fun thing about using blender pens, is they always come out, each one comes out a little bit different. 78 degrees, oh my goodness. I think we would all, wouldn't we, Patty and Tammy, give what we wouldn't give to have 78 degrees right about now. All right, now I'm gonna go with my Azure Afternoon, and we're gonna blend a little bit of that in with the Blueberry Bushel. All right, it looks like we're gonna pick up a little bit more for the bigger flower. All right, there we go. Almost done here. All right, let's see. Now I'll take this, because I'm going to a lighter color in my blues. 78 in your house. Yep. So, I like to, if I'm going to go with different shades, if I'm going to a lighter shade from a darker shade, I like to clean off my thing too. We'll get a little blue, balmy blue, just to finish off the tips. I don't know about you guys, but tulips are one of my favorite flowers. And when I discovered them last Christmas time at Costco, I was so excited because I thought they were only things that you find in the springtime. So I bought myself I treated myself. Every time I'm at Costco and if I see a thing of tulips, I treat myself because they're only $10 for a batch. All right, so we get that, and there's the lid. Now, hopefully it dries off a little bit. I like to add a little bit of wing Stella when I do my flowers, especially these tulips. So we're going to do a little wing Stella to add a little sparkle. All right, there we go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to step away for just a quick moment. I'll bring this card out so you guys can see what we're going to do. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our, oh, thank you, Shannon. I'm going to use my, I think it's 3 3/4. Where's my ruler? I think it's a 3 3/4 inch circle from the die set first that goes with the Spotlight of Nature. It's 3 1/4, and it has like the little fleur-de-lis or whatever on there. So I'm going to take this real quickly and I'm going to die cut the tulips out of this. So give me just a moment and I will be real quick. I can't fit my, unfortunately I can't fit my big Stampin' cut machine on my desk with everything else I've got on there. And this is too wide for my mini, which I bought to use during my lives. So here we go. All right, so we've got this and we're going to take our design out, and looks like I don't need to poke any holes. All the holes are nice and clear. Oh, wait a minute, run one right there. We'll get our little take a pick tool and take it out so you can see all the little holes that are in there. All right, so now we're going to attach this to the front of our card base, and I'm going to use, because I like the little give that I get, we're going to put some Tombow glue on here, just a little bit on the sides. Oops. And then we're going to go ahead and center this in the front. There we go. Center that in the front. And then we're going to use my newest favorite friend that Patty introduced me to. Good old foam adhesive sheets. And I thought I had a set over here that I'd been working on, but I don't see it. So we'll cut a new piece from here. So I'm going to cut this because it actually is a little bit more stable using a foam adhesive sheet for a large circle like this than it would be to use a bunch of little Stampin' dimensionals. So we're going to go ahead and see if this fits. Oh, fits perfectly. So we're going to go ahead and take this off, put it right in the center there. Before I take that off, I'm going to make sure I line it up so I have a better idea of where it lines up. So the flowers, yes, Team Foam Adhesive Sheets. There we go, Patty. I like that hashtag. But I want to make sure I line this up. You can see so it lines up with the stamp image lines up. And then we'll take this off and do it again. And that's, yep, it's about lined up right there. So we've got that. And then we will add my newest favorite, where did they go? Oh, right there. My newest favorite embellishments, the Rhinestone Basic Jewels. We need shirts that say that. You know, for on stage in next year, we can all have Team Foam Adhesive Sheets t-shirts, Tammy. Wouldn't that be fun? All right, we're going to go ahead and, oh, I forgot. So excited about doing other things. I forgot to put our sentiment on there. This is a dear friend card, so I'm going to use my black Memento, and we're going to put our sentiment right down here, and it will pop underneath the white and the blues. And then, let's see, a couple of rhinestones. And these, like I said, these are some of my new favorite, not new, well, they're new, but they replaced the ones that I loved before. They had some rhinestone ones that I really loved before, and I was so bummed when they didn't carry them over. But I like these, so these work. And then we're going to put a couple down here next to the deer friends so nobody misses our sentiment. And there we have it. We have our first card, and it's a beautiful, almost monochromatic. We've got a little green in there, but you know, this is fun. I love this as it's got all the blues in it, and I love the dimension it has by adding that, cutting out the circle and then adding the foam adhesive. Thank you, Nell. I'm glad you like it. All right, so let's go ahead and set this aside. And let me clear my space a little bit so that we can do our next card. And the next card, I have to say, let me show you again what it is. This is not colors. Oh, thank you, Tammy. I would never have guessed of putting these three colors together. Let me tell you what these three colors are. We have Fresh Freesia, Coastal Cabana. Oh, the blues. Yes, Patty, the blues are so beautiful together. I love you know, if anybody asks me what my favorite color is, I really can't say a favorite color. I just have to say I like all the blues. I love all the blues that Stampin' Up! Has. But yeah, so anyway, team hashtag foam adhesive sheets / hashtag Stampin' Up! Blues. I mean, that's what my t-shirt would read. So anyway, this is Fresh Freesia, Coastal Cabana. They sort of match. That'd be great. And can I put 3 blues together on your screen so I can take it? You bet. I'll put the 3. Here's our 3 blues from dark to light. And I'll even put the card in there off to the side if you want. Sort of like that. Or do you want me to put it together so you can read the names like you do in your video earlier? Would that work? Does that work, Patty? Night of Navy is my favorite Shannon. I would have to say that was my very first favorite blue. I used it. Great. That was my very favorite first blue. Then I started playing with some of the other blues, and then they came in with Azure Afternoon and Blueberry Bushel. I guess Blueberry Bushel is a repeat or a return, isn't it, Patty and Tammy? I've been new enough that it was new to me. But yeah, I love all the blues. So, oh, no problem. Yeah, no problem. Oh, good, it is a return. Yeah, I love Blueberry Bushel and I love Azure Afternoon, and I love them all. And I can only imagine what it would look like if you added either boho or pool party into the mix. That would be really pretty too. So let's go ahead, and the next card that I want to show you, it's believe it or not, I decided I wanted to use Coastal Cabana. It was a color I've had and I love it, but I really haven't used it much. So I decided, let's see what goes with Coastal Cabana. So I pulled out my trusty little color wheel that I got from Onstage Houston, and I'm excited to say that later this year, Stampin' Up! Will have these available for us to purchase. And so I'm excited about that, so that everybody has the ability to use this fun wheel. And so I put my line for Coastal Cabana, and you have monochromatic, the watercolor stories, or monochromatic, complementary, analogous, and triadic. And I decided to throw caution to the wind and go, let's try triadic. You know, I've never done it. Usually it pulls 3 colors together that you would never expect. So I looked at Coastal Cabana, and I went like this. I went and looked over here, and triadic is this triangle right here. And I went over to crushed curry, and I went, really? Crushed curry? And then I looked over here, and I went, Fresh Freesia. Really? Fresh Freesia? Okay, I can see Coastal Cabana and Fresh Freesia together, but crushed curry too? I did it, and I absolutely love it. And the funny thing is I made these cards, and I showed them to my daughter, And this was the one that my daughter loved more than anything else out of the two. Her eyes really lit up when she saw this. She was so excited. Well, I'm not going to say excited. As excited as she gets about cards. But anyway, so let's go ahead and make this card. And I'll pull everything out, all my dimensions, because there's a lot of little dimensions on this card. Isn't it crazy amazing how the triadic works? So our card base is fresh Freesia, 5.5 by 8.5, with it scored at 4 1/4. And by the way, I forgot to mention earlier, if you're looking for the measurements for all these, I will have them on my blog tomorrow, as well as a link to my YouTube channel with this video on there again, so you'll be able to watch and follow along, and all the measurements will be there for you to reference, as well as colors. So let's go ahead, we're going to take this, and then we also have, oh, I forgot to show you the inside. The inside I was excited about the inside too. I love using all three colors together on the inside. So we're going to go ahead and do all that, put that together. But it's the 5.5 by 8.5, and then our crushed curry is, see, this is 2 3/4 by 5.5, or it will be 5.5. I have to cut that. And isn't it interesting now how all these colors go together? And then we have a small piece of Coastal Cabana. It is 2.5 by 4, and that's what we're going to stamp on. And then our inside is Coastal Cabana at 4 1/4 by, no, not 4 1/4, 4 by 5 1/4. And then we're going to put a piece of white in there, which I forgot to cut, so I'll cut that right now. That is 3 1/4 by 5. So let me go ahead and cut that real quick. I'll move this and show you something. You know, it's probably new to everybody, not new to everybody else, but it was new to me today. It just dawned on me on how to do this, make things a little bit easier. So we're going to go 3 1/4 wide, and then we want to go 5 inches high. Now this was already 4 1/4 by 5.5, and I used to always take this to the very top and try and measure up here, but then I realized, gosh, it's 5.5. And I want it to be 5, so I just have to look at the 1/2 inch down here at the bottom. Let's see if I can show you guys. The 1/2 inch down here at the bottom, and we'll go down to the 1/2 inch, and I'll cut it here. Now I don't have to worry about going to the top and the bottom and all around. So let's go ahead and we'll do, oh no, I gotta cut. Just remembered sorry for my reach. This is, I believe this is 6.5. I don't think it's been cut down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 6, not 6.5, because it's a 6 by 6. See you later, Shannon. We'll see you later. Have fun with your family. All right, so we're going to cut this down to 5 inches. I might go a little bit over. No, wait a minute. Wrong piece. This, I don't need to cut this anymore. I don't think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I get to chatting with you guys and I forget. This needs to be 5.5, and it's 6 inches long, so we're going to cut a 1/2 inch off. All right. Let's cross fingers that I haven't made a mistake, because this is my last one in this pattern, in this color. So hopefully, if not, then we'll wing it. We'll make adjustments. That's how we do. Life on the fly. So, anyway, I think I've been babbling, but we're going to go ahead and take care of the inside of this card first. So we're going to take our 1/2 inch by like 6 inches, and we're going to attach it to our inside white piece. And then we'll cut the edges off and attach it to the Coastal Cabana for the inside. All right, let's go ahead and cut these. And there we go. And then we'll attach this to our Coastal Cabana on the inside. I think we'll use No, we're going to use our Tongro. I'm afraid I'm going to misplace it with the Stampin' seal, and then I'm in big trouble because I can't move it around. So we'll center this here. Let's see. Almost even. There we go. We'll go ahead and throw caution to the wind with our Stampin' seal. All right. We're going to put this on the inside. There we go. All right, let's set this aside. And looks like I thought I had my Coastal Cabana. I'll have to grab another piece of Coastal Cabana. Thought I had one that was set up for the exterior part of the card, but I think I didn't. All right, so we'll be pulling this out again, and I said that first layer of Coastal Cabana is 3 by 5.5. So we're going to cut this. We're going to cut this at 5.5 first, because I don't need the whole sheet to be at 3. And then we'll cut at 3 inches. That doesn't look right. Yeah, it is right. 3 inches. All right. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I wanted to, first I was going to layer just the crushed curry with this, and then I thought, no, I want that pop of Coastal Cabana on it too, because then it would tie all the colors together. And now we're going to go ahead and center our crushed curry onto our Coastal Cabana so that there's just ever so slightly an edge of the Coastal Cabana peeking out. Let's go ahead and Tombow glue this. All right. And then this, I'm going to have to lift up to play with it a little bit. There we go. Nope, I need to move it over a little bit. So, all right. Perfect. Let's see, do I need to trim any edge? Well, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, it sort of looks like it could be trimmed a little bit here. Looks like sometimes they're ever so slightly over. All right, so we got that. Now, before I attach this to my front, I'm one that I have a hard time with straight, just plain cardstock. I need to have some kind of texture looking to it. So instead of embossing this, what I decided to use is the little hashtag, not hashtag, but it looks like a net, or I'm not sure. It's like a lot of little hashtags stamp on this, and I'm doing it in Fresh Freesia on Fresh Freesia. And I'm just going to do it right around along the edge. So we'll go ahead and stamp randomly. First I tried it with Versamark, because Versamark can give you some great looks, but I wasn't thrilled with it. I like the Fresh Freesia on Fresh Freesia. But there we go. It's hard to see it from here, so let me lift this up so you can see how I've done this. And you can see the tone on tone that we've got going right here. And so when we go ahead, we're going to put this now right here. And let's see. Yep. And you get some of it, you can see it right there, it peaks right there. So let's go ahead and put this on now. So, all right. All right, let's see. And, all right, there we go. So we'd have about, looks like about 3/4 of an inch, no, probably 7/8 of an inch space on this side, and 3/8 of an inch on this side in terms of space between the edges and where we put our paper. So it's not centered, it's sort of off-centered. All right, so now what we're going to do, and hopefully this doesn't take too long, because I'm not a big fancy, what is it, fancy cut? I can't remember what we call it. What do they call it, guys? Fancy cut. So anyway, we're gonna stamp the leaf, Coastal Cabana on Coastal Cabana, and then we're going to fussy cut. That's what it is, not fancy cut. We're gonna fussy cut, not with those scissors. We're gonna use my snips. And I'm just gonna fussy cut this, and hopefully I can do this nicely but quickly so I don't bore you guys as I'm cutting. And as I've said before, I don't say it very often because I don't fussy cut very often, but the tip is to turn the paper, not the scissors. Now, with stamps images like this, what I have a tendency to do, oops, is if I want to cut this out, this is so narrow. Oh, you can't see it very well. Yeah, fussy cut. This is so narrow that I don't want to try and fussy cut it while I'm fussy cutting the rest of it. So I'm going to come back and fussy cut that afterwards. So let's go ahead and get these leaves cut out, the main part cut out. And I should have done one of these ahead of time so I don't bore you guys with this. But, oh well. We'll go ahead and fussy cut here. We'll go down a little ways. I'm not going to cut in all of the areas. I can't fussy cut like that. Matter of fact, I may come by and trim that piece up. It looks a little too far out, but we'll just go with it. All right, so, and sorry if I'm not talking. I need to concentrate. I don't know. I used to be able to multitask, but as I got older, I found I can't multitask as well anymore. See, and that's not working. All right, there we go. My daughter often will come in and start talking to me. I have to tell her, hold on, I'm in the middle of either texting someone or writing an email, and I can no longer talk and text or talk and type at the same time. I can no longer manage two different conversations at the same time. I think it's as I've gotten older, I can't do it. Oh, I'm glad you're not bored, Nail. All right, let's see. Let's do that. And we're going to fussy cut a little bit down here because I don't want that much of my blank space. But we don't have to cut all the way down because part of it's going to be covered. All right, so there is our leaf that we fussy cut. And we're going to take Coastal Cabana and we're going to use the Thanks stamp. And we're going to stamp on our smaller. We've got 3 circles from our Spotlight die cuts. And these are the 3 that we're using right here. And it is a 2 3/4, a 2 1/8, and then a 1 5/8 if I measured it correctly. So 1 5/8, 2 1/8, and then 2 3/4 that we've got going here. And I liked, I wanted to make it pop, so I did alternating colors. And then we're going to add the Coastal Cabana with the sentiment on here. And I'm not mixing up any stamp sets. Everything comes from the same stamp set. Everything comes from the same bundle, actually. And there's our thanks. We'll set that aside so I don't get ink on me. And I believe I glued, I have to look at my sample. I glued these down and centered that in that circle, this 2 1/8 in the 2 3/4 circle. And let's see my sample. Yes, all right. And then what I did is I popped up using foam adhesive strips, or the foam adhesive sheets. I popped up the sentiment, so let's go ahead and cut that one. I don't need a very big one. In fact, that's a little too big, so we'll cut that down. That one will work. All right. So I hope I didn't miss any. If anybody's got any questions or anything like that. Let's see. Did I miss anything? Nope. I'm so focused on trying to get this one right. All right. So now we're going to center this here. And we're going to put this down here on this, but before we do that, we're going to go ahead and attach with some glue our Coastal Cabana leaf. Let's see, we'll get a little bit more glue on there. And then, let's see, we need to get a little glue down here at the bottom, although that's covered. All right, let's go ahead and do it probably about, right about there. And then we're gonna go ahead and just attach these. I love how every single one is card is different. We're gonna attach that down there. Some glue. All right. So there, and then we'll just finish this off with a little embellishment. And what I am using is our Ombre matte dots that come in Calypso Coral, Old Olive, Coastal Cabana, and Night of Navy. And I'm going to use our Coastal Cabana, of course. So let's go ahead and attach those. Where is my take a picture? Oh, there it is. All right. And I like using, you could use the bigger ones, but I use the small ones, but I might, let's try a bigger one at the bottom, and then we'll try some of the smaller ones up at the top. So we'll go, there we go. All right, so there is our second card, our last card for today. Thank you so much, Joan. I appreciate that. So we have our, oh, excuse me, triadic card using fresh Freesia, Coastal Cabana, and crushed curry as our first card. And then our second card, no, I'm sorry. This is our second card. Our first card was our blues tulips with blueberry bushel, Azure Afternoon, and Balmy Blue, and a lemon lime twist for our leaves. So let me know which one's your favorite one. I would love to know. Thank you so much, Patty. I appreciate that. You know, I went online to get a little bit of inspiration from Pinterest because, you know, I'm not one that's for recreating the wheel if I don't have to. But I love inspiration, and I go to Pinterest for it, and yeah, that's where I got these. I can't say, I didn't case anyone in particular, not specifically, but I just saw and sort of melded a bunch of them together. The blue one, but both are beautiful. So Joan, your favorite is the blue one. Ah. Oh, Patty can't pick a favorite, but you're adding those three blues to your tribute list. Oh, I'm glad you like it. Your favorite one is the blues nails? Oh, I'm glad. So I have to admit, I would have normally picked the blues as being my favorite, but this color combination just so blew me away because I would never have envisioned, and I'm loving this Coastal Cabana even more now that I've used it a little bit more, and I love it against the crushed curry, and I would never have envisioned putting those colors together. So I'm going to have to say this card number 2 is my favorite one out of the 2 that I did today. So thank you very much for joining me. Really quick, give you a heads up. Next week, oh, does it look like Lost Lagoon? Yeah, no, it's Coastal Cabana. It's funny how the cameras do that. It changes the colors, you know. But yeah, so what I was going to say is, oh, next week, join me because I am going to be doing a sneak peek of a few cards that I'm making in my very first online card class that I'm holding in August, and I'm hoping it will entice you to join me. The online class will be open on Saturday, I think it's the 12th, let's see, 7 days from today, and today's the 5th, today's the 12th, so that means the class will open on the 13th, and we're using the Memories and More Thoughtful Journeys cards. I was inspired by Kirsten's Sunday class at the soiree that we just recently did during the summer last month. And so I'm excited to share those with you, and we will be doing this. So I hope you join me next week to get a sneak peek of those cards and to hear more about my card class. Have a great week and stay cool for those of you who are in California, and enjoy the cooler weather for those who are not in California. And have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Friday. Thanks, and have a good day. Bye-bye.